So coming to Jordan this time, I only bought a one-day Jordan pass for one day at Petra, and we arrived a little bit early, so I decided I'd come back down again because yesterday I didn't get to the urn tomb, and I still want to go to the royal tombs. So what I had to do was show my Jordan pass, tell him that I already used it, and pay an extra 5 JD, $10, to go down again. So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning on a really cool windy day, and I have struck all the buses arriving, so it'll be a bit busy going down, but everybody will probably just go to the Treasury and not go right the way down to the Nabatean Theatre. So here we go, adventure starts for today. A large group with Jordan passes were coming through, and the attendant was demanding the passport. He has a right to do that, and that is in the terms and conditions, but when you've got 35, 40 people coming through, I think it's a little bit officious and a bit of a power thing to ask everybody to provide their passports. Inshallah, such is the day. So they always tout that the ride of the horse is included, but it genuinely isn't. They do want tips. So this Brazilian chick just behind me in the black there has said to her husband that, said to the horseman that the husband had the money, and of course now that she is here, the husband's saying that she's not paying. So it just adds a different element of uncomfortableness to the whole thing. It's the scamming element of the whole thing. Oh, the husband's had to come back now because the tourist police have just arrived. Oh, it just brings just a horrible feeling to the whole thing. It's don't go on the horses, the camels, the donkeys, the buggies. Just don't do it. So the husband had to go and buy some water, so they've got some coins to pay him, and now they're having a stand-up argument in the middle at the beginning of the sick. So it just adds a really uncomfortable taste in your mouth for your visit to this amazing place. They say it's included, it is not included. They want you to tip them. It's their business. They are Bedouin. It just makes it uncomfortable. Yesterday when I came through, I showed you some of the interesting antiquities or interesting carvings as you go. And I said to continually look up. And what I didn't do yesterday at this spot was look up. And there in the rock are other carvings, just amazingly high. So when you actually come to Petra, this is my 5th time, and when you do a lot of walking, you like to know landmarks. So when you actually come into the sick, the start of a kind of pebbledy paved area, and then it's kind of solid with pressed rock and that type of thing with some concrete between it. And then at a certain point it comes to this soft sand, and that tells me that about 100, if you just look up, about 50 metres, you can actually see the entrance to the Treasury. So if you're looking for some markers, there's like some little shops and there's a tree that grows over. So now that I know each one of those, I know where I am on coming down the sec. But just in that crevice just there, you can actually see the Treasury. So when it moves to the soft sand off the hard concrete, you know that the Treasury is just a few steps away. I've arrived at the Treasury this morning, and looks like we've got a mini photo shoot happening with a mini Lady Gaga here. Just fascinating. Another handy hint about travelling, if you want to know where a nice photo is, just watch what other people are doing and the angles and where they're looking. Because sometimes somebody has spotted a really nice vista that you have missed. So just saw some Germans taking a photo of that sun coming through those that peak there, between those two peaks. So I wouldn't have looked back and taken that picture if I hadn't have seen the Germans doing that. Thank you guys. I'm just taking a couple of minutes rest because that's genuinely where I'm heading this time. That is the urn tomb, and I've already been there. So these are the other tombs that I want to go to, and they are the Silk tomb, the Corinth tomb, and the Palace tomb, and they're up there. But what I noticed on the map when I picked it up again this morning that I didn't really notice last time was, so this is where I'm going to be heading, this group here. But I noticed that on the way up to the Treasury, I've passed previously the Great Temple and definitely past Quasar Bint, El Bint there. So it's just a little further down on this flat. So what I was thinking, I will go there, because if I climb up there first, I won't be in the mood to go there. So if I do this one first, then that is still my goal. So zipping along here on the map, come down there through the Sikh, then to the Treasury, past the Nabatean Theatre and the Great Temple. So I'm actually here at the minute. I'm actually here. So I'm going to cruise over to number 12, this guy over here, and then I'll come back over here, cruise across this little bridge and up to see these ones. So that's going to be my goal for today. It'll be my last big walk. This is actually the temple, but you can't get access to it from this side, so I'm not going to explore too far. So down there is Qasr Al Bint, Castle Al Bint. So I'll walk down a little further to there. Then the other thing that I notice is the church up there, and so the mosaics, they normally store them under a sheltered area. So there's a path leading up, so I'll just wander up here a little bit further, past those colonnades to that next group there, and then go over to the church and then go up to the tombs. So these are the steps to the Great Temple, so I'll cruise up them and see what the view holds. So I've just come off the Colonnade Street, and if you cruise back up, cruise that way, up the hill, it's to the monastery. It's quite amazing. So after I do this, I'll cruise over to the church, which is on the hill over that side, and then head up to the tombs, which are over on that hill over there. So I've come up to the first layer, up some stairs. Once again, just an amazing view. And what you can see, these columns are made in discs, and when they fall, they've kind of fall in a little pattern there. Just beautiful. The other thing that you'll notice is the hexagonal floors there on the forecourt. Just wonderful. Just amazing. So on the second level of the of this structure is a small amphitheatre. Just beautiful. So to be walking in the feet of the ancients, walking on the path of the ancients, it's just quite mind-blowing. Now I've walked up to another layer, probably 1, 2, 3, maybe it's the 4th layer, where those people are sitting as that small theatre. Oh wow, fascinating. You can see here some paint on the stucco or that's just wonderful. I'm going to cruise down those stairs in a second. So here I am, huffing and puffing. I've made my way up to the church. Not sure if you can see in the background there the great temple. That's where I've just walked from. And Casa El Bint is that square in the background. Just beside the path with some prints of some lithoclasts. So I just picked them up. There's my souvenirs for this trip in to see the church. Just the relief from the heat is enough to come into this space, but the mosaics are just spectacular. Oh, look at the artwork on that one. Ah, that's a very traditional one, that bird. I've seen that before in tourist ones, modern made-up ones. Excuse me. Just spectacular. So this is the baptistry, constructed in 450 to 500. It's one of the largest and best known, best preserved in the entire East. The font consists of a cruciform basin and a large square platform. At one corner is a stone jar built on the platform. It might have served as an extra water supply or storage, or probably used for the baptism of infants. The 4 limestone columns supporting the canopy over the font, and then supported a second tier. So that's pretty interesting. And that's the cruciform baptismal font from a different angle. This must have been the water supply, the additional storage that they suggested to stand to the front there. Very nice. Once again, if anybody knows me, they know I have an absolute fear of heights. So what the hell am I doing up here on the top of another canyon? Just crossed over this little bridge, which was just rebar. That's all it was, just rebar. Thank goodness there was some South Africans and they just chatted me over it because I was going to have a little hissy fit. And you can't get to somewhere like this and turn back. You've just got to keep taking one little step at a time. So that was the church with the mosaics, and back over there's that grand temple. Just magnificent. Keep going ahead. I'm hoping that the one advantage of coming up this slow incremental incline from the church and doing it across the top is that I don't have to go down much until after I've got to the Corinth tomb and the royal tomb. So I'm heading my way, and it isn't looking too bad at this point. So it's about 11 o'clock. It's starting to get really, really hot. I've stopped off and had a drink, and Al bought some mixed nuts yesterday, some Brazil nuts and some walnuts and some cashews, so I packed some of those. So I'll stop off soon and have a snack. So I'll try not to breathe too heavy because I'm huffing and puffing because I'm way not fit. So over here you've got the theatre. Over here somewhere you've got the urn tomb with all those stairs. And this is where I'm heading this time. Just amazing. I'm not sure how people were getting up there, but I did see a couple, but they were helping each other, so I don't have anybody that I'm travelling with, so nobody can push me up. And this is just amazing. Look at the detail over the top of that column. Almost like an eagle there. Just beautiful. The one beside it. Just wonderful. You look right up the tippy top. Just wonderful. The other thing I can see is the rocks, the waves of the colour in the rocks. Just wonderful. I'm pleased I made the effort to come up. So by being patient and observing what other people were doing and walking calmly along a nice flat path, I found a way to get up here to the royal tomb. The entrance was kind of near the Corinth tomb, and the silk tomb is the one next door to that. So now that I've come up here, I'll go inside and take some photos from inside. I've just come up to this tomb, so it's the one next door to the Corinth one. So it's been used as a stable. So I've had my nuts and a little bit of water. So I'll start to head down. It'll probably take me a good couple of hours to get down. Just beautiful. I'm actually really pleased that I really made an effort to do these extra couple of places. Coming in again, so this is my 5th visit, and I think I would have done a substantial amount, considering when you put all the videos together you'll see that I've been up to the monastery and up to the urn tomb, and now over to these ones, the palace tomb, the Corinth tomb and the silk tomb. Been over there to the church and to the Grand Temple-y thing. Just wonderful. I think I have done my time here at Petra. I don't think I'll be back again. It's just wonderful. Everybody should come at least once, if not 5 times, just to see as much as they can. Just beautiful. One last little recording before I head out of the sick. Just looking at that rock formation just behind me there. It's got a line running down it. And it's a crack, and it's ready to go eventually, very soon, one day in the next 100 years maybe. It'll be impressive when it does go. It's all beautiful and cool. In here it's 12:30, nearly 1 o'clock, so I've been down here for a few hours, just slowly making my way up, and hopefully Muath will have an orange juice ready for me. Looking for a while, and I've come across the tree, leaning tree. This means that the end of the sick is just around the corner. I love little milestones like that. So I've completed my 5th trip down to the Treasury. This will probably be my last time of coming to Indiana Jones. And probably the last chance to ask for an orange juice. Can I have an orange juice, please, Muath?